Hey entrepreneurs, let me ask you a question. Would you rather people know about you or buy from you? Think about it for a moment. We'll be right back. Welcome to the premiere episode of On Purpose. This is brought to you by the Black Entrepreneurs Network, and my name is Tiya. I'm super excited that we've partnered with Relationship Entertainment Television to bring On Purpose to you every week. We're going to feature some amazing Black entrepreneurs, their services, their products, some information that can help you with your businesses, and some opportunities. So don't miss an episode. To make sure that you don't, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down here at the bottom right of your screen. So what is the Black Entrepreneurs Network? What is On Purpose? What is this all about, right? Totally understand that question, right? So the Black Entrepreneurs Network is a unique business building relationship marketing platform for entrepreneurs of color. That sounds really complicated, right? But I promise you it's not. Our members become more confident speakers. They speak about their business, whether it's a pitch, competition, whether it's networking events. They become more confident speakers. They present themselves, they connect with other entrepreneurs in a safe space. We do a lot more, but this isn't a commercial, so I'm going to skip past that and tell you why I started the Black Entrepreneurs Network and where On Purpose was born, right? So if you're a lot like me, you've been to networking events. Some of us a little bit more than others, and a lot of those networking events, I would be like the only entrepreneur of color, right? Maybe one of two, maybe no other women. Yeah, you kind of get my point, right? And then if I wasn't kind of one or two, I would kind of go to events with maybe a lot of entrepreneurs of color, and I just didn't seem to fit in. I kind of felt like high school again, right? Kind of cliquish. Or I just didn't have the opportunity to talk to anyone because there was a meeting or an agenda or something else that I wasn't aware of. And so there wasn't the opportunity to connect. And so I wanted to create a platform where Black entrepreneurs could close the gap, right? There's a lot of information out there that we are not aware of, whether it's about loans or grants or what is a business plan. Last year, as I know a lot of you know, especially after the death of George Floyd, it seems like there was like a new focus on Black businesses, and almost everyone had a Black owned business directory. Guilty, right? But I was like, well, like, what is everyone going to do with these directories? What kind of common goal can we have, and what difference can we make in our community? So that combined with trying to narrow the gap of information, trying to narrow the financial wealth gap, prompted me to start the Black Entrepreneurs Network. So we have a ton of networking events and ways to promote yourself. Not a commercial for the Black Entrepreneurs Network, but again, just a little bit about who I am and what the organization is that's bringing you this show. Let's talk about On Purpose, right? So why are you in business? If it's like everyone else, you are in business to make money. While we all have passions about certain things, in my case, I have a passion about connecting with Black entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of color, sharing information. My biggest passion is making sure that everyone knows that spam is not marketing, but we'll kind of talk about that later. While we all have our passions, right? Whether it's from sewing to cutting hair, the passion alone is not enough to pay the bills. We've got to make money, and that's why we're in business, right? So as an entrepreneur, I realize that we all have different needs, and usually that means promoting, getting your name out, making sales, closing contracts, etc. But no matter what business you're in, there is one thing I can tell you that applies to every entrepreneur, whether they're black, white, green, purple. We all started from step one. We started from day one, like no customers, no anything, right? We had to come up with hopefully a plan, a marketing plan, a strategy. And while the reality is there are some people out there that have access to more resources than some others. You know, they may have money, they may have an inheritance, they may be able to get a loan, whatever the case may be. I can guarantee you, no matter what the situation is, that a lot of those people that were successful in business did not spam people's social media posts, right? So, in other words, whether it's Sam Walton at Walmart or Rihanna with Fenty Beauty, yeah, maybe some of those people had money, or maybe some of those people had a brand behind them and some recognition. The point is that they actually came up with a strategy to market their business. And so On Purpose is designed to tell you a little bit more about Black entrepreneurs, to highlight some Black entrepreneurs, to encourage all of you as entrepreneurs of color, but most importantly, to get a message out that there are millions of ways, okay, maybe not millions, there are a ton of ways to promote yourself and share your business, and it does not have to mean that you're spamming people's posts. So I'm gonna take a moment right now and just say stop spamming, stop every time that I know I post on Instagram, I get 1, 2, 5, 10 DM me's for promotion, reply to me. Stop that, right? When people are posting on Facebook to say, my mom needs a birthday cake, oh, reach out to Pookie and them here. Like, no, we need to, as a collective community, come up with a strategy and, to promote our business, to share our services, to seem like we're reputable. Okay, this is not me on my soapbox. This is just to kind of tell you a little bit about what On Purpose is. On Purpose is an opportunity for us to expand our marketing plans and bring our businesses to our larger audience, so that way we can see that there are other ways to enhance our business plan besides spamming others. In this show, we will talk about entrepreneurs that are doing amazing things in their products and their services. We'll highlight them so you can get to know them. You can reach out to them. We'll encourage you to form strategic partnerships. Hey, wait a minute. We'll talk about what is a strategic partnership, because a lot of people don't know what that is. And we'll talk about things that a lot of people just aren't aware of, right? Because maybe they don't know anyone in their family or their friends that have businesses. So we'll talk about how to get you customers without having to spam. Stop the spam, start the marketing. Okay. So I'm a huge advocate for when you make connections with other business owners, they will work on your behalf. That is number one. So for example, let's take my shirt. I don't know if you all can see it. I'll stand up a little bit. All right. So of course, if anyone took the time to read my shirt really quick and I look at the golden arcs, you notice I said arcs and not arches. McDowell's is not a real place. It's a fictitious place. This is not a McDonald's shirt. And if you are a true fan like I am, you know that this shirt is a representative of the fictitious restaurant in the movie Coming to America, right? Okay, so let's talk about 2 points in this example. One, the shirt was made by a Black-owned company. A lot of you may have seen this company in their advertising because they do advertise as part of their marketing strategy. The name of the company is Power in Black. I am not being endorsed by them, but they do make amazing products and they have amazing designs. So if you'd like to check them out, I encourage you to do that. It is a quality product. However, the thing that I want to bring to you and my point in this message is that Power in Black, if for example, if someone says, I need a shirt for a baseball team. I don't know. We don't play baseball, right? We play kickball. Right? So if someone says, I need a shirt for a kickball team, for a family reunion, whatever the case may be, and you post it on Facebook, no one from Power in Black is going to hit you down in your messages or send you a DM or reply on Facebook or whatever the case it is, right? They are not going to reply, excuse me, and say, promote me, contact me, DM me, buy my stuff. They're not going to do that. And the reason they're not going to do that is not because they're a multi-million-dollar brand, because I'm not in their pocketbook, so I don't know how much they bring in, but I can tell you that it is a smaller Black-owned brand. And it's not that they don't need your money, because they do. They're in business, again, like the rest of us, to make a dollar. But they realize that their strategy is designing a quality product. And when people see their product, wear their product, that's what's going to get the name out there and get them sales. The other thing I want to bring to you about their product is that they do an amazing job with understanding who their audience is, right? Their product, just like your product and everyone else's product, my product, is not for everyone. So they do their market research and they come up with designs that are appropriate. So for example, when the sequel to Coming to America came out this year, they came out with this and some other shirts that were designed to the audience that liked that movie. So my point to you is they didn't have to spam anybody to make sales. They just had to understand who their market was, what their market wanted, and make sure to do designs and offers that reach that market. Now, if you're on Facebook, you may have seen their sponsored ads, and behind those sponsored ads, they took their target market and said, okay, show these images to them. So without going into a whole marketing lesson, because that's not what this is, my point to you is, if you know who you're trying to reach, then you don't have to talk to everyone else. That's not for you, right? Because you're wasting their time, but you're also wasting your time. So take the time and understand who your target market is. Who is it that wants your carpet cleaning service, or who wants to buy your lip gloss, right? And then if you need help with that, just ask. There are ways, many ways to do market research. One of them is in a Facebook group, like one of ours, where you can ask questions to people in the group and they can give you their honest feedback about what they like, what they don't. But again, make sure you're in a Facebook group or a focus group or whatever that's full of your target market. So take a step back. Who is your target for? Who is your market for? Who is your product for? Who is your service for? It's not for everyone. Make sure you understand that. That's the key takeaway. One of the key takeaways from this video is understand who your product is for. So in the case of relationship entertainment television, if you want negative images of Black people, then you are not in their market. In the case of Black Entrepreneurs Network, if you are someone that does not want to improve your business, then you're not in my market. You get my point, right? Okay, we'll stop beating that dead horse. All right, so point number 2 about this shirt. That was Power in Black. I will post their website down below, but again, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not sponsored by them. So if you purchase, great. If you don't, that's okay too, but definitely make sure you share them because they are a Black owned business. So my second point that I want to make is that Coming to America, right? Like the whole shirt in general, right? Same thing. You never saw Eddie Murphy hit you in your DMs. I mean, okay, I'll leave that alone. But you didn't see Eddie Murphy hit you in your DMs. You never will. Arsenio Hall, Sherry Headley, like none of those people will. They're not like, go see my movie. What they do, and the producers of the movie, and again, not affiliated with the movie industry, but what did they do? They built their original movie on advertising. They told you about actors and people that you knew. They showed you clips of the movie, the original movie, as well as the sequel. So that's the way that they got you to go to see the movie. They didn't spam you. They didn't wake up and say, here is, Tia's message about good morning. So I'm going to reply and say, go watch my movie. They didn't do that. So my point is that you should not do that either. Share information about your product and service in the business. So in this case, while they told about the actors, hey, remember Eddie Murphy from Delirious? He's in this movie. Okay, this is not the advertising. Y'all get the point. Right. The point is that they told you a little bit more about the benefits. And so that's what we need to do as entrepreneurs. Explain the benefits, lead with the benefits. And when we do that, when we share posts about the benefits of our product, in the case of movies, right? When we connect with partners, so a distribution company, actors, again, I'm not in the movie industry, so I'm probably making up some stuff that's not right. But my point is, when we connect with partnerships, we all get ahead because a lot of times those people work on your behalf. That's one of the key things I'm going to talk to you about networking in this series is that when you make connections with people at networking events, a lot of times they'll work on your behalf and sell on your behalf, but more on that later. So make sure you come back for future episodes. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. So I've told you a little bit more about, I told you a little bit about the Black Entrepreneurs Network. I've told you about who I am, more of my story. To come, right? It won't be anything boring. It'll be exciting and new, just like me. But the other thing I want to share with you today, and the thing that you can look forward to in future episodes of On Purpose, is meeting some amazing Black entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of color that are in our community. So today, I would like to take time and introduce you to Tiya Carter. She is in the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina. She'll tell you a little bit more in this following video about what she does. She has an amazing organization, the Empowerment Source, that shares business grant information in addition to her 9-to-5 at the airport and providing information to small businesses. So she's a great person to reach out to. I would like you to watch this really short interview with her where she answers and gives some great information about resources, tips, and tools that can help you in your business and the value of networking. Well, hello everyone in the Black Entrepreneurs Network. As you know, one of the benefits is that we have amazing Black professionals come into our community and share their knowledge with us so that we can improve as individuals as well as entrepreneurs. So today I'm super excited to introduce you to, Tiya Carter. And let me just make sure I pronounced your name correctly. Is that right?
That's it.
Okay, perfect. And she is actually the owner of Empowerment Source. Her website is empowermentsource.org. I will definitely be sure to post her website, her email, and her phone number, as we always do, in the comment section. If anyone, in all of her social media links as well, in the comment section, if anyone wants to reach out to her, I definitely welcome you to do that. If you have any questions or want to follow up, get more information about her. And today, she is going to talk to us about the value of networking. So we are super excited to have her join us today. How are you doing today, Tiya?
I am great. I'm so excited to be with you.
Yay, great. I'm so excited. So this is definitely an open forum. We are here to pick your brain. So I'll ask you a few questions. Definitely feel free to chime in, with any additional information that I may not specifically ask, but would be a benefit to our community. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you live, what you do, what's the Empowerment Source?
Absolutely. So Empowerment Source is my reaction to the murder of George Floyd. So my day job is that I'm the director of small business at the Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority. So my actual job is helping small businesses, small minority and women-owned businesses, get contracts at the airport, learn about contracts, learn about the bidding process, learn about the contracting process. So I do that for small minority and women businesses across the state, across the country. But when the George Floyd incident occurred, I was enraged, hurt, angry, like everybody else was. But it was kind of a call to what more could I do for my community? What could I tell them? What could I share with them? Is there anything I can do? And all I could think of is I know a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff about random things. So how can I share it with more people? How can I help them with their business? How can I tell them what I think about things? And so I never used Instagram before 2020.
Wow, really?
I had an Instagram page.
Okay.
I wasn't really into it. So I started out with Instagram, then I put a website together, and then kind of it kind of grew from there. Who else is trying to do this, and what else do they need help with? Because there are so many directories. People were trying to direct people to Black businesses, small businesses. How can we get together and amplify what we're all trying to do? So Empowerment Source is the extension of my day job.
Wow, that is super exciting. And I know one of the things about Empowerment Source that I've seen on your website is you have a lot of great like funding information, like grants and things that out there to help small businesses. So is that a pretty good source? Is it something we should check out like once a month, or how often is that updated?
So what I was noticing is that in my job in the small business, I was getting all these emails about these grants, and I only know who I know, right? So I was like, where do I put this stuff so that other people can get it? So every week I go in and look for grants and have grants emailed to me, and just in my connections, I'm finding them, and I want to make sure that I'm amplifying those sources, specifically grants, because during the COVID crisis and the Small Business Administration had a lot of loan programs, and our people get caught up, and by our people, I specifically mean Black people, get caught up in loan situations where you're putting yourself further in debt. You're not entirely sure about whether your business is actually going to flourish, and you set yourself back rather than do what you're trying to do, which is either survive or grow. So I'm specifically focused on grants because free money is always better.
That's definitely
It's just better.
Definitely true. Okay, so considering that you're probably one of the better persons to answer this question for me, I know personally, and I'm sure it's the same for other entrepreneurs in our group and some that are outside of our group, when I see a listing for a grant, I kind of feel like I'm new or I need to be at a certain level in my business to qualify. So I'll automatically exclude myself. Is that a good thing to do when we're looking at grants?
So, okay, so we have grants and then we have hustles, right? So some of the grants are you pay me $25 and I'll find you a grant, or I'll help you get a grant, or some of these grants are not actually grants. The grants tell you exactly what your business is supposed to be. You're a business of less than 100 people. You've made less than $500,000. You are located in this area. If you fall into the criteria of the minimum of what they're asking for, you should apply. And you should apply, and this is going to sound super corny, but you should apply from your heart. So they're going to ask you questions about why you started your business, what you're doing with your business, how your business relates to whoever's giving the grant. You should speak from your heart, because if you overthink it, you're one, not going to answer the questions that they're asking, but two, they're giving the grant for a specific reason. They want to know how you fit in. So you should always apply. This goes for jobs too. You should also apply for jobs you think you're not qualified for.
That's good to know.
Plug.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's good. We need all the encouragement we get. Okay, so can we apply ourselves, or does it make sense to reach out to like a grant writer to work on our behalf? Or is that sometimes too much?
So I'm a complete hater in this area. I hate for people to say, I need a grant writer, right? Because a grant is asking you as the business owner what you're doing, what your purpose is. Now, if you're a bad writer, then maybe you should go find someone to write it. And by someone, I mean a cousin who's really smart.
Who's good in writing.
Right,
Okay.
right. I'm not saying you need to go pay anybody, because no one can talk about, hopefully you've done your research. Hopefully you know more about your business than any other person on the planet. You should be able to articulate what your business is doing better than anyone else, anyone else. So when people say they're hiring a grant writer, now obviously you need a grant writer for like scientific grants where you're going to solve the world's problems. But when we're talking about small business, minority business, women-owned businesses, they know you're small. They know you're a 2-person show or a 1-person show.
Okay.
They're not asking you for your life. Sometimes they are, but mostly they're just asking you to follow directions, right? Just do what they say on by the deadline and answer all their questions. Don't hire anybody.
Okay, that is good. I'm telling you, you are giving us good information. Okay, or at least you're giving me good information because I know I can use it even if no one else does. And then sometimes I think I look out for people that are like, okay, who do I need to help me out? But okay. So okay. So in both capacities, your and I hate to use the word real job, but your
My real job. It is
real job
real job.
and empowerment source. When you work with entrepreneurs and helping them find funding or helping them find sources, of funding to apply for, I know you probably, because sometimes people are super honest, right? And sometimes they let it slip, like, oh, I'm going to get this money. Or we hear those stories of people got this money and they didn't use it on their business. They used it to go shopping and it kind of even goes along with that track where sometimes we have entrepreneurs that don't understand the importance of even having a business bank account separate from their personal. So do you have any tips or piece of advice for people to help them understand, like, this is business funding and it should be used for operations or utilities or whatever the case may be, to kind of help them stay on track, if that makes sense?
So that's a big, big, huge question. Let me try to break it
Okay.
down. So my day job is dealing with businesses who want to do business with the airport, the
Airport.
Raleigh Airport, right?
Okay.
If you are just starting out and you don't have a business account, you're trying to figure yourself out, you're not ready to do business with the Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority, right? You're not in that space. You need to go find some basic business 101. They have it at the community college. They have it at the Institute for Minority Economic Development. They have different agencies all over the country. SBA has classes. You need some basic, this is how you run a business class, right? Because if you're still mixing your personal money with your business money, you're not ready for the airport. You might be ready for a trade show or some other, and then that was the kind of the second part of my answer. Critical to doing business is knowing who your audience is, right? Everybody's not going to sell to my airport. You're not ready, you're not big enough, you're not whatever. You're not ready. It's okay. But there are hundreds of thousands of millions of other places you can sell your thing that people are going to appreciate what you're buying. Every place is not for you to sell. You have to figure out who you're selling to, who's going to buy what you want and what you're trying to sell, whether it's a service or a good or whatever. Figure out your place, because you're wasting time trying to sell makeup to my airport, right? You're that's not
Now
it.
you've actually, I know that makes sense. Now you actually segued us into my next question. Most people would think, like, in our group, it's diverse. Have diverse industries. So say, for example, our group member that is more in the personal care, trying to think exactly what her industry is, but let's just say it's the personal care industry. And we have another group member that deals with like more of like entertainment and TV programming. People in those industries that aren't like, like, if I think of the airport, I think of airplanes and I think of the food court, right? And
Right, right. What else are
right.
you doing? What else are you doing?
Right. I mean, there's like the gift shop, but that's pretty. So I wouldn't think, if I'm someone that helps small businesses start, or I'm running a TV show, or I have a personal care business, that there's anything for me to even reach out to, like, the airport, or for, are there opportunities, like, for the business that is established, they have business plans, they have funding, are there opportunities like that for them to reach out to places like the airport?
So it depends. So if you think of the airport as a small city or a mall, so from the
Hmm.
small city perspective, we have a fire department, we've got a police
Hmm.
department, we've got a fuel. I don't even know what we call it, but we run foot fuel. We've got accountants. So we're a small city. So anything that you could sell to a
Hmm.
small city, you could
Okay.
sell to the airport, right? And then we're a mall because you go in the terminal and you see a masseuse, you see the nail shop, you see the shoe shine guy, you see the food court, you see these random things that you see right in the mall. Anything that you see in the mall or buy in a small city or that a small city would need, that's what we buy. Now, when you say personal care, that would kind of depend, right? Because yeah, we have an express spa. I hate to call a name, but we have a spa,
Hmm.
um, right? But it's
No,
only
that's really
doing
interesting. I get it though.
right. So, but we're only doing like massages and maybe nails. People aren't going to be there for 45 to 60 minutes, so it's not like you're getting a full body situation, right? But we do have it, and then that goes to how you get into those contracts and that kind of thing. But again, it just depends on your specific industry. And that brings me to another point. Your industry, and I tell business owners this because I deal with all kinds, I don't know anything about what you do. I don't particularly want to know anything about what you do because you're the expert, right? So you go find out what it is, who the people in your industry sell to, what type of things they do to sell, and then you'll have a better picture of whether you should be approaching me at all.
Okay.
I might not be in I might not be for you, and that's okay. But someone in your industry has figured out how to do this. You should go figure that out.
That makes sense. And just to um make sure everyone's clear, tell us your job title again
So my
at the
job
airport.
title is director of. See, now I'm gonna make up a title.
I was going to say it was a trick question.
Wait a minute. Director of Small Business Programs.
Okay. And is there a director of small business programs at every airport
It's a really good
or
question.
okay.
That's awesome. So now this is going to be a kind of a long answer, but
Okay. Okay.
because we receive federal funds, every airport that receives federal funds has to have a program called Disadvantaged Business, essentially minority and women, right? So someone has to administer that program. It might be a disadvantaged business officer, it might be a small business officer, minority and woman owned business, something or another. Like we all have a different title, but the program is the same across the country. Obviously, the larger airports have bigger programs. I'm a 1 or 2 person show depending on the day. But like DFW Airport has like 9 or 10 staff people just designated to helping small businesses find out about contracts, helping them, respond to RFPs, teaching them where to go and what to do. Every airport of any size has some group that's responsible for that.
Okay, that is great to know. So yeah, so I'm glad you shared that with us. So that way those businesses that are interested in pursuing those opportunities kind of know who to reach out for in their respective areas. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Especially because we do have some members that are in, I think most of them are pretty much in large metropolitan areas, like, the Charlotte area, Raleigh, DC. Um, yeah, okay, perfect. So now let's kind of, and you've already kind of touched on this, but let's segue into the connection between finding the opportunities and networking with people for opportunities. So, for example, are there benefits? Let's say, like I know you from Black Business Coalition or Collaboration Coalition.
It's
Yeah, it's one of
wonderful.
the okay. Right. So let's say I would like to work with the airport, Raleigh Airport, right? I don't, but let's just say I do.
But it's okay.
Right. Yeah, because I do. I mean, and that's one of the things that actually I do really need to work on. Not for this business, but my other business, with actually looking at opportunities for minority and women-owned businesses and contracts. But that's a whole different side note. Again,
It's
I
a
told you
whole
sometimes,
different job
yeah.
right there.
Sometimes I have to remember that it's not always about me. But okay, so
Don't we all? Don't we
I know.
all?
So, are there benefits in making a connection with someone like you in a networking situation versus looking up? And I'm people don't use telephone books anymore. Just follow me
But
though. Yeah. But let's say I pull open the Raleigh area, and I'm like, who do I contact at the airport that can help me with small business opportunities? I find your job title and I, cold call you or cold email you. Are there benefits, or in this situation, is it kind of the same level of information I would get from you no matter how I met you? Would you even answer my call though if I cold called you?
good question, right?
Okay.
Okay, so let's start from if you cold call me, would I answer the phone? That's literally what they pay me for. So yes, I would answer the phone,
Oh,
right? Because
really?
I'm
Okay.
here for all small businesses, no matter what your question is, I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to try to direct you. Um, as far as networking, so again, every airport has this, but then most cities also have a program just like this, right? For minority and women-owned and small business. So if you connect with the person who's running that program for the city, they too will pick up the phone. And they probably have a networking event coming up. They probably have what we in this business call an outreach event. We have gone out into the community. We're trying to make the community aware that we have a particular opportunity coming up and we want you to come and learn about it. Typically it's around construction or we're going to, because we're an airport, we have a lot of janitorial services, right? So typically we're about to put a contract out for janitorial services. We want you to come and learn everything about doing janitorial services at the airport and compete for this contract. So going back to your question, is there value in networking? Absolutely, 1000%. But where there might not be value is where you haven't done the research about who you're calling and what you want from that person, right? So if you call me and tell me that you want to sell Girl Scout cookies in my terminal, I'm not feeling good that you've kind of gone onto my website and checked out what we actually do in an airport, right? I'm not feeling good. You got to have some level of you've researched enough about who we are and what we're doing so that you can come to me and we can have a conversation about what you want. What is it that you sell? What service? Can I put you in touch with my maintenance department, or should I be directing you to IT? You got to have something to come with when you're networking with an agency like mine. Or if you're in a group like mine, we've met, our group has however many people we have. There are people all over the country. Again, networking is knowing your business well enough to tell someone who may or may not care about it.
That is excellent. And you pretty much wrapped it up in a deep bow. That's exactly what we're trying to get people to understand about it. So perfect. That's great, actually. And not that I'm surprised, but sometimes people say things. I'm like, pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, what other value, and I won't stretch this out too long, just some few closing questions. In your opinion, outside of asking you about your specific, job or position with the Black Business Collaboration, when you network with other entrepreneurs, what is something that you think or you wish that other entrepreneurs would know about networking, that either for them to stop doing because it's not productive, or for them to start doing because it would help them build better relationships, or along that line? When you are working with other entrepreneurs, what is it you wish they would know, I guess, is the best way to ask that.
So a couple of things. Apparently I don't have a short answer for anything.
You're fine.
So one, I think I said before, you have to kind of target who you're talking to and what you're talking about so that you're not wasting people's time. Because literally, I will talk to 7 different entrepreneurs in a day, and I'm going to forget what it is that you said to me, right? I'm not going to remember. But if you followed up with an email and you told me what we talked about and you made sure I understood where your value proposition was for me, then I'm like, oh, yeah. I talked to that insurance lady. She's good. I need to direct her to this group of people, or I need to direct her. right? So you follow up, you make sure I understand. Again, it's not all about me, but sometimes it is, right?
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it just is.
Right.
You make sure I understand what your value proposition is. That's kind of one. And then two, again, people like me talk to 5 billion businesses. Every so often, send me an email and say, hey, you good? Everything good? Any new opportunities over there that I don't know about? Because literally things come across our desks every day. And I forget that I met you at that networking thing. But if you send me an email, I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. He talked about whatever. Let me send this to him. And a couple of people have sent me an email on a day when I received something that was perfect for them. I forget everybody 20 seconds after I meet them. That's who I am as a person. But if you kind of follow up, not every day, maybe not every week, but if you let me know that you're interested in doing business, that's part of networking because it's relationship building. It's I don't want to just meet you for this 5 minutes while we're at this little event. I want to have an ongoing connection with you so you don't forget about me when it's time to make some money, right? That's a relationship. So I guess what I would say is be about your business and knowing your business, but build a relationship. Don't just network.
Oh, I love it. Because yes, it is about relationships and it's definitely about follow-up. So that is excellent. Yes. You also mentioned one other thing that I want to kind of follow up on because it was an amazing point that I don't want people to miss. You mentioned that you help entrepreneurs make connections. So if someone reaches out to you and you can't necessarily help them or it's not the right time or whatever the case may be, or you know a better network, you're introducing them or willing to introduce them to another resource, which is amazing. And I wish everyone would get in that mindset.
So
I know, because sometimes we're like, no, this is my connection. I'm like, no, we need to work as a community. But again, kind of getting off on tangent, so I apologize. But
facts, so it's all facts.
but that actually was one of the other reasons why this group was founded, right? It was because I wanted to get people to network, to build those relationships. I wanted them to get those tidbits that you dropped, and you dropped a lot, but the most recent one is about follow up. But I also want them to understand that when you either get a referral or give a referral, it needs to be quality. So if I come to you and you are willing to risk your reputation, because that's really what you're doing when you introduce me to someone that you know, um, what can I do to ensure to you that I'm serious, that you're not going to introduce me to this person and I just blow it because I really just, you know, I'm just grasping at straws. Like, what can I do to let you know? And I know we talked about really like understanding my business and knowing who my audience is, but or is it? I mean, is that enough to assure you that I'm not going to blow the opportunity and I'm really serious about, you know, following up with your connection, giving them the information that they need? I guess, and another that was really kind of a long-winded question, but I guess in summary, the question really is, what can I do to assure you that I will handle your lead properly in that relationship that you're now, you know, making for me?
So that's so tough, right? Because I meet so many people, so many businesses, and then so many people ask me, "Do you know of a electrician? Do you know of a whatever?" And if I haven't used them myself personally, then I can't really say they're great. What I can say is I met this person, they seem like they have it together. Um, maybe I have maybe in their follow-up conversations with me, they've provided me with enough information for me to be able to speak intelligently about what they do and maybe some of their previous clients or their previous customers so that at least I can say I didn't use them. I don't really know them, but they gave me some info. And let me tell you, because I don't, on the one hand, I'm always putting my reputation on the line because I'm connecting everybody and I'm assuming you're going to do your due diligence to make sure this person is who you want to do business with, right? But on the other hand, we all need to get our stuff together so we're not giving each other bad. Let's not do that to one another. Let's get it together.
Okay, perfect. Now that is the perfect answer. Because we all right, we do need, like you said, we need to get it together better. So I totally. Okay. Perfect. You have given us, this has been a great conversation. I definitely
Oh, This
Yeah,
has been
ears
so
come.
much fun.
Hey, see?
Right? Okay.
I know. So yes, definitely. And I invite you back. If you ever, like, hey, I want to talk about this with the group, or I want to come and, we'll schedule some things in the evening. That may be a little bit more convenient, and not just for you, but like people on the West Coast. Sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, or different time zones, because I'm like, wait, if it's 7 here, yeah, it's
Whoa. Whoa.
right.
It's not
Exactly.
okay. It's not
Yeah.
okay.
But we definitely want, and I'm really trying to get everyone to, understand that business is real, or longevity in business is really about making connections. It's really
That's
about sharing resources and growing as a community.
right.
And definitely, and in front of everyone, I will applaud you for the work that you do with the Black Business Coalition as well.
Thank
So,
you.
so before we end our call today, is there anything else you want to share with us? I know we mentioned, your website. Anything we should keep out on a lookout for you? Just email you if we have any questions. Any closing
So
words?
I guess my social media, my IG is Empowerment Source. Um, my day job, if you officially want to speak to me on my day job, you can email smallbusiness@rdu.com. And that's me and whoever picks up the email. So we will get back to you. So if you have questions about doing business at RDU, that smallbusiness@rdu.com. But if you're a Black business owner and you just need some quick answers, you can hit my IG at empowermentsource.org or
Definitely.
Empowerment Source.
That's okay. And I'm sure some people will reach out to you, because to find out that you just got on IG, I'm actually impressed, because your audience is pretty big. That means you've grown it pretty large, and you worked on it by yourself.
I did. I did. And do you know how? Google is my friend. It taught me everything.
See, I'm telling you, but that's good to know, because unfortunately, sometimes, and again, and I hate to be stereotypical, but sometimes we're afraid to look for information. So we go with what cousin Ray Ray told us instead of going to research. So I'm glad you said that as well.
Yes. And you don't have to get it right, like right off the bat, right? Like, so if you saw my early posts were a little struggle,
Okay.
but we just try and do what we can do, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'm sure some people might reach out to pick your brain about Instagram as well, um, because your growth is amazing. Well, thank you so much, Shanae. I appreciate you joining us here at the Black Entrepreneurs Network and
Thank
all
you.
of your time.
I appreciate it. Take care.
You too. Thank you so much for watching that video with Shanae. I hope that you got a lot of value about what she does, and want to reach out and connect to her. If you have an organization that may want grants, definitely go to her website, theempowermentsource.org. If you want to work along with her coalition, I always encourage you to reach out to her. If you want more information about working with the airport, definitely reach out. I'm a big advocate for building connections, and all of her information on her website will be posted down below. Thank you so much for watching that interview in this first episode of On Purpose. Again, we will be here next week with another exciting entrepreneur for you to meet. If you would like to have your product or service featured and you're a Black entrepreneur or entrepreneur of color, definitely reach out to me. You can post your information. Well, don't post your information down below. You can email me at info@theblackentrepreneurssnetwork.com. We have some exciting opportunities to sponsor the show, to have your information shared. You can advertise on the show. We also have some amazing networking events coming up, including our speed networking, which we're going to do once a month. The next event is Tuesday, May the 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We hope you all can make it. It'll be a power-packed hour of networking, speed networking. So you'll want to bring your A game and connect with some new entrepreneurs. Our entrepreneurs are located nationally as well as globally, so you do not want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this episode has been a blessing to you. If you have any questions, let me know. Peace, and until next time, be amazing.